Hello everybody, MD Polo here. Thanks for joining me. Forgive my voice, but I am getting over a cold. Today we're going to be taking a look at a pistol that is quite special for me, and I'll try to keep it as short as possible because I do have a lot of information. There is history on this and information, but I find that it's not quite consolidated. So here we go. In front of you have the Sphinx SDP Compact Alpha. It comes in a nice hard case that you can lock it, you can travel with it. It comes with two 15-round mags, the loader. It comes with three back straps, a small, a medium, and a large. The back straps not only help you with the distance between the back of the gun and the trigger, but also assist you with the width of the gun. I'm going to ask you to be a little patient also with the light, because my regular overhead light stopped working, so I'm using just regular room lights. It comes with a cleaning kit that is perhaps the nicest cleaning kit that I've run across from a production gun. We'll take a look at some of this stuff a little bit later. Let me remove the case and we'll dive into the Sphinx SDP Alpha. I'll move it around a little bit while I give you a little bit of the history behind it. There we go. So the SDP Alpha, as I mentioned, is a 9mm double action, single action, 15+1 pistol. This evolved from competition, but it was designed for duty use. It could very well be that this pistol could be the jack of all trades, being a pistol that is ideally suited for duty use, for home defense, and for competition. Sphinx Limited Ltd. Out of Switzerland has a long history of precision manufacturing. Originally was founded in 1876 as a tooling company, and then later evolved using the CZ 75 base platform. In the mid-1980s was when they began producing handguns. A decade later, they acquired Industrial Technology Machines, ITM, and with that, the company launched their finely crafted competition models known as the AT2000 and the AT3000 pistols. They quickly became popular options in the international competition circuits. However, their hefty price tag, especially in the 1980s, when you're paying $3,000 back in the 80s for a competition pistol, it made it quite inaccessible for the average shooter. Now I'm letting you take a look at this gun all the way around as I am talking about it, and this gun has been safety checked several times prior to the start of the video. In 2010, Sphinx System decided to join forces with the Chris Group out of the United States, and they wanted to bring a new pistol to the American market, and this was the Sphinx SDP. All SDPs were produced in Switzerland until the Swiss company ran into financial problems and their assets were purchased by Chris USA in November of 2015. Production was then moved to the United States right after this, and currently the Sphinx SDP line of pistols is manufactured and sold and also solely supported by Chris USA. The Sphinx SDP series of pistols were designed to provide the same level of precision craftsmanship as earlier models. But the goal was to do it at a much more reasonable price. So taking a look at the Sphinx SDP, it is made and has a finely machined steel slide, and I hope the light is catching this correctly. It has a steel slide with an aluminum frame. It has a match grade barrel, and each barrel is hand fitted to each slide by a master gunsmith back when they were in Switzerland and now in the US. This happens to be a Swiss gun, but even though they're mass produced, the final product is hand fitted. So this barrel was hand fitted for this slide, and with the aluminum middle and a polymer grip, everything comes together very nicely, and it works and is meant to work like a finely made Swiss watch. From the very beginning, the Sphinx SDP made a very positive impression on me. The pistol was spotlessly clean, it was well lubricated, and demonstrated a high level of craftsmanship and attention to detail. It proved to be one of the tightest production semi-auto pistols that I've had the pleasure of handling. There were absolutely no rattles whatsoever. The slide showed no perceivable side-to-side movement, so it's just everything is very tight. And when you rack the slide, it is just smooth. It's like it's like glass with butter all over it. So now let's take a look at, dive into the specs. As I mentioned before, it's a double action, single action, 9mm pistol. This slide is out of billet stainless steel. It's a matte black with titanium aluminum nitride finish on it. The middle part of it is hard anodized aluminum, and the grip is black polymer. The grips are polymer, soft synthetic with soft synthetic inserts. The sights, originally from the factory, they come with a white front dot, which would be this. I'm trying to show you what it would look like. Right now it's got fiber optic fronts, but originally it comes with not a night sight, but just a white dot in the front. And the backs, as you can see here, this again are not the standard sights. These are custom sights made by ZR Tactical Solutions, and the current sights are serrated. I'm trying to see if the light will catch this. It is a U-notch serrated. There we go. See if you can see that. And the original sights also were sort of a U-notch. I'm a square notch, I'm sorry, so I went to a U-notch versus a square, also serrated. And the profile of them, that's the new profile. It does have this lip right here. The original ones don't. That's what it comes with. So that's the original side, that's slide sight, and this is the custom sight. So that give you an idea of what they look like. And while we're taking a look at the back of it here, you can see how tight the tolerances are on the pistol. It comes with a 3.7-inch barrel. The overall length is 7.4 inches. The width is 1.06 inches, so it's really not as wide as it looks, although it's a big and it is a heavy gun, coming in at 28.18 ounces. Capacity, like I said, 15 plus 1. So it is a hefty gun. It weighs quite a bit for only 15 plus 1 rounds. This comes at an MSRP of $1,295. So not only it's heavy, but it is also expensive. However, it's one of the best shooting pistols that I've ever had the pleasure of shooting. Tremendously accurate. The slide has quite a low profile. It rides like a regular CC, deep into the frame. It has full-length rails. They are precision machined into both the slide and the frame. When you manipulate the slide, it really truly feels like it's oil on glass. It's got front and back serrations that are very positive. They are sharp, they're not going to hurt you, and they're very easy to grip. The trigger, when started at decocked, the pull is long, especially when you're talking about the double action. The pull is long and heavy. It is a long, heavy, and you get a lot of resistance. There's your wall right there. Then you have to move through that wall and it breaks. So Now you go to the reset. It's right there. I mean, you barely move your finger and you're at the reset. There. So, very nice on the trigger. Now, like I said, the double action, it is pretty heavy at 10 pounds. But once you're in double action, you go to single action, and the reset is and the pull comes to 3 to 3.5 pounds. Very clean. I don't know if you can hear it, but you don't feel anything. It's just smooth, smooth, smooth. Now, one thing that I had done is I had this, the spring kit was installed on this by ZR Tactical Solution, the same people that did the custom sights. They have a spring kit that you can put on this, and the double action went down to 6.5 pounds. The single action remained at 3.5. The controls are ambi as far as the decocker. So you're right there. And on both sides, they're very accessible. I have no problem with that whatsoever. The mag release does not come ambi from the factory. It's got some texture here. It's very comfortable and it's very positive. It can be switched to the right side, but it does not come ambi out of the box. The slide release also works as a takedown pin. I'm sorry, the takedown pin also works as a slide release on the Alpha. The takedown process is exactly the same as you would see on a CZ P07. And once you take a peek inside, you notice immediately that what the differences are with a P07. The craftsmanship and the quality are absolutely amazing. And let me show you. You just, again, like a regular CC, you just line up those lines back here. I'm trying to do this through the camera. And through here, you just pop that. You see it comes right out. Now I want you to listen to this because you're probably not going to hear much. It truly is like it's on glass. And once you take a look at it, you can see the craftsmanship and the lack of machining that goes on. It's got a captured recoiled spring and guide rod all put together, and the barrel, each barrel, like I said, it's fitted to each slide, and it's right there. I mean, it doesn't move at all. While we're here, let me take a moment and show you the inside. And you can see that just the quality of the craftsmanship. There's no tooling marks anywhere. And as you can see, everything that is metal inside has been hand polished prior to the gun being put together. I mean, everything, even looking in here, bringing the trigger back. Trying to focus this, there you go. You can see there, everything is finally done, polished. And the craftsmanship is just fantastic. When we move to here, again, everything polished. Just beautiful work. Now, taking a look, here we have, excuse me, I'm trying to do all this in one take and without editing. Here we have a CZ P07. Now this one's brand new, it's never been shot, so it's going to be a little bit tight, but also you open it exactly the same way. And I'm going to pop this right here. And I hope you can see and hear the difference. See, hear the difference there? Let me see if I can do it in the Sphinx now as well. See the difference there? And then taking a look at both, you can see the inside of the P07 on your right and the Sphinx on your left. There's just no comparison. So I'm hoping the camera's catching all this. So I just wanted to bring, I love the P07, and that's one of the reasons why it's here. But when you're talking about comparing it to the Sphinx, you really are comparing between a Chevy and a Bentley. That's what I like to say. The CZ P07 is the Chevy, and the Sphinx is the Bentley. So there they are, put back together. The shooting impressions on the Sphinx SDP compared to other mid-size 9mm pistols is, let's say, when I took to the range, I took the Glock, and comparing it to the Sphinx is like driving a go-kart and then jumping into a Bentley. The Sphinx just feels like a comfortable, luxurious, and it's a remarkably soft shooting pistol. Another benefit to the Sphinx is that it has a very high undercut under the trigger guard right here. And together with the Beaver Tail, it's got a very pronounced Beaver Tail here, it makes it a very controllable pistol. And like I said, I recently took this gun to the range together with a Glock 19, and I wanted to warm up a little bit, so I took some shots downrange with the Glock 19 first, and then right away I grabbed the Sphinx just so I could notice some of the differences. And I can tell you that switching from the Glock to the Sphinx, it was almost like going from a 9mm to a 22. This is how much softer shooting this pistol is. Now, that perhaps is a bit of an exaggeration, but I wanted to get the point across on how amazingly soft and flat of a shooter the SDP is. Now, part of it is because of the weight. The weight on this gun, like I said, is 28.18 inches, so pounds. Just having an issue here today. 28.18 ounces. And it is just a little bit lighter than a Commander size 1911 at 29 ounces. So for additional reference, a Glock 19 Gen 5 at 24 ounces and a CZ P07 at 27.7 ounces. So what are the cons that I find on the Sphinx SDP? Sorry, I just bumped the camera. Is, to me, one of the issues, I have medium-sized hands, so perhaps that should preclude me from being a reviewer on YouTube based on what I hear. But with medium-sized hands, I have an issue reaching all the controls. Even though I have the small back strap installed, I am having an issue. It's okay to reach the decocker, but the slide release, slide stop, everything like that, I really have to break my grip in order to reach that. Now, that is exactly the same problem that I have with a P07. It is exactly the same way, and it's exactly the same reach. You can see how similar they are. So that's one of the cons for me. Even with a small grip, I have an issue trying to reach the controls. This may not be an issue for any of you guys with bigger hands, but it is for me. Now, the other con would be aftermarket support. There's just not a lot out there for it. And for a pistol of this size and of this weight, having only 15 round capacity is perhaps a little bit anemic. Now, going back a little bit to some of the modifications that I did to this gun compared to the stock model is that this has a barrel that has been customized. It has a deep crowned barrel. It has been coated. It has the aftermarket custom sights by CZ Tactical, and also the front part of the back strap has been stippled. So that, and together with a spring kit from CZ Tactical. So those are the modifications that this pistol has. The other con would be the MSRP of $1,295. It has a street price of about $1,000, but for some people it will still be a hard pill to swallow. Now let's address the elephant in the room, and that is at $1,200 for the CZ and at about under $500 for the P07. Is it worth it? You got a delta there of, depending where you find the guns, you have a pretty significant delta. So when you're talking about sending the P07 to one of the custom shops and spending $200-300 on upgrading your P07, you're still not going to have a Sphinx. So that's the elephant in the room. Is it worth it to spend the extra $600-700 on the Sphinx versus the P07? And for me, it is. Now, this is completely personal preference. For me, it is worth the difference. Do you want to drive a Chevy or do you want to drive a Bentley? It all depends on where you place importance and what your wallet will allow. But as I showed you the insides, as you see how the slide works on the frame, how everything's polished inside, you can have the trigger worked on this, spend $200-300, you're still not going to have the craftsmanship, the quality, and the shooting experience that you're going to have in here, in the Sphinx. If that doesn't matter to you, you may be perfectly happy with a stock P07. You may be perfectly happy spending another $200-300 and getting it upgraded. Now you're $700 into the gun, and you're still saving several $100s over the cost of the Sphinx. It really depends on what's important to you and where you place value. But I see a lot of the comments that go on the websites about the Sphinx and about how it's not worth it and how you would never spend that money and how you would rather do this and rather do that. But a lot of these people don't own either one. So my only comment is that until you've had the opportunity to handle one, until you've shot one, then you can make your decision whether you think the extra money is worth it. Because otherwise, you just don't know. It's like saying, oh, I would never spend X amount of dollars on a Bentley, it's just a car. Well, sit down, sit in one and drive one, and then make the comment. So, in conclusion, although the SDP suggests a retail price is almost double of what some of the competitors' offerings are, it is a production gun that runs like a custom gun, and it is a production gun that I feel should cost a little bit more than it actually does. I really do think that Sphinx has succeeded in producing a compact 9mm that can move comfortably between a target gun and a competition gun and a home defense and duty applications. And this is something that it can be done without any additional tweaks or modifications to the gun. The SDP Alpha, the compact Alpha, like I mentioned, is very soft shooting, highly accurate precision shooting machine, and it feels wonderful in the hand. To me, it's one of the best out-of-the-box pistols for accuracy and shooter comfort. I also brought with me a couple of other pistols to show you a little bit of a cameo. This you saw in one of my last videos. This is of course, the Staccato P. And the reason I'm bringing this is because the Staccato P is also a steel frame with a polymer lower. The Sphinx also has the steel slide. Although it has the aluminum middle, it has the polymer grip. So there are some similarities there between the two. And I wanted to show you the mandatory comparison with a Glock 19, just for sizes. So you can see the width, both 15 rounds. Putting them on their back like that. The Sphinx is here. Trying to do this back to back. If you do not include the Beaver Tail, the Sphinx is actually just a little bit shorter. I don't know if you can see this. But the Sphinx is just remarkably heavier. So here you go, guys. I wanted to show you the Sphinx SDP compact out of Switzerland. Give you a little bit of history behind it and compare it to the Glock. Give you a little bit of comparison with the P07 and give you a little bit of a cameo appearance by the Staccato P. So thanks for putting up with me today. Not the smoothest flowing on my videos, but I do them in one take only. So if you like what you saw, please consider clicking the like and subscribe buttons. And once again, thank you for stopping by. God bless.